Hello guys, Jared here again, and welcome to another one of these collection videos. Yes, I love doing these, and so today I'm doing one on my Carry On film collection. Now, the reason I wanted to do this is because obviously it's around Christmas time, and like here in the UK, it's often like kind of a tradition. They often show like Carry On films on TV over here around Christmas time. So yeah, I mean, you often do kind of associate them with Christmas, and also the fact that this year, um, a great independent TV channel over here called Talking Pictures TV, which I've talked about before, and they're a great channel. They're going to be showing the Carry On Christmas specials. So yes, they're Christmas specials. They're TV specials. So they're not considered part of the main film series. I've actually never seen the Carry On Christmas special, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those when they air them on Talking Pictures. Now, the Carry On series of films, if you didn't know, it's a long-running series of British comedy films. The original series was 30 films from 1958 to 1978, and then in 1992 there was a 31st film. There was Carry On Columbus, which was meant to be a sort of reboot of the franchise, but apparently it was so bad that it pretty much killed the franchise. I've never actually seen Carry On Columbus. I think here in the UK you can only get it on VHS. I know there is an Australian DVD, but I think it might be like a bootleg. But I own all the films apart from Columbus. So yeah, I'll show them. And it wasn't with the same characters, but it was all with the same group of actors. And it was mostly a fun series of films. You had them set in different time periods or just in different settings, and yeah, it was just a really fun series for the most part. And yeah, so I'll show you volume 1 of this. So these are the first 12 films in the series. The first 12 were made at a company called Anglo Amalgamated. So yeah, and it has on here caricatures of the actors. So that's Bernard Bresslaw, there's Kenneth Williams, Joan Sims, Sid James, who's my favourite Carry On actor. I think he's most people's favourite. There's Hattie Jakes, Jim Dale, Barbara Windsor, and Charles Hawtrey. So yeah, and out of these people, Jim Dale's the only one who's still alive, sadly. Barbara Windsor, she passed away a few years ago, and also there's an actor named Leslie Phillips who was in some of the black and white films. Then he stopped being in them when they went to colour. Then he returned to the series in the Carry On Columbus film. He passed away just recently, and I know also Sid James's wife, his widow, passed away just recently as well. Most of the other cast members died decades ago at pretty young ages, which is sad. Also, one thing that's interesting is all 31 films were directed by Gerald Thomas and produced by Peter Rogers, including Carry On Columbus, which was a sort of reboot of the franchise. In fact, Columbus came out a year before Gerald Thomas passed away. But yeah, 31 films, all directed by the same guy and produced by the same guy. So yeah, so there's 2 films on each disc, if I show you. Yeah, so the films in this volume are Carry On Sergeant, Carry On Nurse, Carry On Teacher, Carry On Constable, Carry On Regardless, Carry On Cruising. Carry On Cruising is the first one in colour. Then Carry On Cabby, which is in black and white again. Carry On Jack, which is in colour again. Carry On Spying, which is black and white again, that's the last of the black and white ones, and that's my favourite of the black and white films. Carry On Cleo, Carry On Cowboy. Fun fact, Carry On Cowboy was actually Sid James's favourite film in the series, and I can see why it is a lot of fun. I mean, most of them are, but yeah, it's a really fun cowboy one. Most of them actually do pretty good American accents in that, surprisingly. And then Carry On Screaming, which I also do have on Blu-ray. They've put out a few of the others on Blu-ray, but this is the only Carry On Blu-ray I have. So yeah, this was one where they had the guy Harry H. Corbett, who you know from like Steptoe and Son. He's in it. He replaces Sid James, and Sid James, the characters he usually played were usually called Sid. So his character is called Sydney in this. But yeah, this is a favourite of most people. I've often said it might be my favourite. Most people would say their favourite's this one or Carry On Up the Khyber, and those two I'd say are very high up for me. But I think there's one that might be my favourite. But yeah, this one and Up the Khyber are great choices. Yeah, and that's Harry H. Corbett, Angela Douglas, Kenneth Williams. That's Fenella Fielding. She was in another Carry On movie. I think was Carry On Regardless, but I know she was also in the Bottom movie, which was Guest House Paradiso, another film I really enjoy. So yeah, and you can see on the back there's Peter Butterworth, another Carry On regular, and there's John Pertwee. This was before he was in Doctor Who. And also, interestingly, the first ever Carry On movie, Carry On Sergeant, had William Hartnell in it, who was the first ever Doctor. And yeah, that was before Doctor Who ever came out, So, yeah. So those were the ones made at Anglo Amalgamated. Now I'll show you the ones in this big box set. These are all the films made at another company called the Rank Organisation, which I would say I like the Anglo Amalgamated ones, but I'd say these Rank ones are more my favourites. So yeah, I'll go through the films that are in this box set now. So the films, the first two, it says Carry On Don't Lose Your Head and Carry On Follow That Camel. Originally they didn't have Carry On in the title. They were just called Don't Lose Your Head and Follow That Camel, because of course they went to a different studio, so the name Carry On was like copyrighted. But in more recent releases they call them Carry On Don't Lose Your Head and Carry On Follow That Camel, but I think those are kind of stupid titles, so I just call them by the names without Carry On in the title. And Don't Lose Your Head is probably actually my favourite one. I mean, most people would say their favourite is Screaming or Up the Khyber, and those are very high up for me, but I think Don't Lose Your Head is my favourite, mainly because it's the start of the Rank Organisation films, which are my favourite. So yeah, there's Don't Lose Your Head, Follow That Camel, Carry On Doctor, Carry On Up the Khyber, a favourite of a lot of people and one of mine as well. Carry On Camping, that's another favourite of a lot of people, and yeah, it's it's one of the best for me. Carry On Again Doctor, Carry On Up the Jungle, Carry On Loving, Carry On Henry, Carry On At Your Convenience, Carry On Matron, Carry On Abroad, Carry On Girls, Carry On Dick, Carry On Behind, then the dreadful film Carry On England. That was when they got bad. And then there was like a film That's Carry On, which was like Kenneth Williams and Barbara Windsor showing footage from previous Carry On films. It's okay. And then the last one in the original series was Carry On Emmanuel, which is a truly, truly dreadful film. It's basically a parody of the Emmanuel series of films, which were like a series of French films in the 70s that were... I've never seen the Emmanuel films, and I'd never heard of them before, I knew of Carry On Emmanuel. Apparently they were French films that were like borderline pornographic films, and it's an awful... I think that subject was too much for a Carry On film to parody, and it's a very dated reference because nobody really knows what an Emmanuel film is these days. So yeah, but I enjoy most of the others apart from England and Emmanuel, and I haven't seen Columbus, which is known to be a really terrible film. But yeah, so on this side it lists the films that are on here, and on this side it lists the special features. The documentary What's a Carry On, that's a really great documentary. But one other thing I like is it does have all the episodes of the Carry On Laughing TV show. and I've watched those episodes, and yeah, I quite like them, but you know, the movies I'd say are better. And you know, like I said at the start, I've never seen the Carry On Christmas TV specials. I don't think the Carry On Christmas specials are considered part of that Carry On Laughing series, but yeah, but I look forward to seeing the Christmas specials. So yeah, like I said before, when I said in Carry On Screaming they had Harry H. Corbett replacing Sid James. I'll show you the other ones where they replaced the main actors. So this one, Follow That Camel, they had the American comedian Phil Silvers playing Sid James, his character. His character was originally intended for Sid James, and you know, it makes sense him being like an American. It's cool because it's about like the Foreign Legion, so it's cool to see somebody outside. And these ones in the box set come with a little booklet inside them, and here you can see all the actors there, and it comes with like talks about the actors in them, and you can see there's Phil Silvers in that. So yeah, and I think it's a pretty good movie, and I think Phil Silvers does it quite well. I mean, you know, he's known for like Sergeant Bilko and, you know, the Phil Silvers Show, also known as Sergeant Bilko. And here it says Bilko joins the Carry On Legion. That's a great show, and he was also in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which is one of my favourite movies. So yeah, and also this one, Carry On Up the Khyber. Like I said, this is considered one of the best. And this one, Jim Dale was replaced by an actor named Roy Castle. If I show you, I've seen Roy Castle also in. He was in the first Peter Cushing Doctor Who movie, and yeah, he's pretty entertaining in both of these movies I've seen him in. And yeah, here's the booklet. Here's the picture of him and talking a bit about him. So yeah, he basically came in and replaced Jim Dale in that role, and then Jim Dale returned to the series in Carry On Again, Doctor, which is a good film in the series, and then he basically left the series, but then he returned to the series in the Carry On Columbus reboot film, which didn't go well. I mean, I haven't seen it, but you know, I know it's not considered very good. And you know, I've said in the UK they're kind of a Christmas tradition. They show them on TV at Christmas time. I also think this one, Carry On Screaming, this film's also good to watch around Halloween time, because it's kind of a horror, comedy. It's basically a parody of like the Hammer horror films. And I also think this one, Carry On Loving, is good to watch around like Valentine's Day, with it being about love and all. But yeah, hope you enjoyed seeing this video, and yeah, I enjoy doing these collection videos, and I hope you enjoy watching them, and I hope you enjoy the Carry On series as much as I do. And yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.